Hey folks, how's it going? My name is Lexi and I really love tabletop role-playing games. So much so that I sit down once a week, every week, and review one here at the gaming table. I try to keep these videos short, under 10 minutes, so we can both find our next game. If you like the sound of that, please feel free to subscribe and keep watching. Today I am reviewing a game that was sent to me. I always appreciate being sent games to review. Of course, it not only gives me a game to make a video about, but sometimes it means I get to explore games I might not have otherwise. If you have made a game and you would like to see it on the gaming table, you can reach out to me using the email address in the description box below. I will be upfront and admit that I have a bit of a pile of games to review, so it may be a couple of months in between receiving a game and getting a review out. But I am always keen to hear about what people have been making. I want to briefly thank everyone who donated to my Ko-Fi page. All of the donations go straight back into the running costs of the channel, so it is deeply appreciated. If you would like to also donate to the channel, there is a link in my description box to my Ko-Fi page where you can make a donation. I put a short thank you at the end of my videos to acknowledge everyone who's donated in the previous month. You don't have to donate if you can't or you don't want to. I just appreciate everyone watching and discussing games with me. I want to thank Stellar Gamma Publishing for reaching out to me with today's game. We are taking a look at The Sword of Cepheus, 2nd edition. This isn't necessarily a game manual where they tell you the capital city of each group in the world. It's pretty hard to find an explicit detail about the setting of this game. Rather, this game proudly proclaims itself to be part of a meeting of genres: swords, sorcery, sandals, and planets. The flavour of this I think you can find in the different beasties, monsters, traps and encounters a game could come across. This manual is for an open world, so honestly it is up to a game master to incorporate those different elements presented to them and transform it into a setting for the player characters to explore. The vibe is kind of ancient world aesthetics with a dash of science fiction. I guess the first image that came to my mind when I was reading through the game was something like a chariot with laser-mounted weapons. Foregoing writing a full setting for a tabletop role-playing game can be a bit of a divisive choice. I know for some players and some groups they want an established setting so they can connect to the world and get a vibe of what the game is going to be about. I know for other people, particularly game masters, they appreciate having a sandbox style world where they can really change and move it around to what they want to play. I think if you lean more towards that second group, then you are going to enjoy the game. That being said, if you are struggling with planning a campaign for Cepheus 2nd edition, at the back of the game manual, there's a couple of inciting incidents or plot hooks that you could start a campaign with. I definitely would want to make use of those. The Sword of Cepheus uses a 2d6 system inspired by the Traveller tabletop role-playing game, which is actually a game I've not yet personally had the time to pick up and play, so I think this might be my first time encountering the system. The basics of the system as they're presented in this game are to roll 2d6, add the results of those die rolls together, then apply it to a modifier and compare it then to a challenge number. This challenge number is typically going to range from a 6 to a 10. When it is time for your group to sit down and make their characters, you start by calculating your character's basic scores. These scores are strength, dexterity, endurance, intelligence, education, and social standing. Depending on your character's background, how they grew up, you might be altering these base scores. So I tend to recommend for games like this to start off calculating the scores on a bit of scrap paper before transferring them to a final character sheet. The backgrounds in the game can give your characters a couple of special skills. Then the next step I think is perhaps the most important one for the game, which is selecting your character's career. For this game, the career options are Barbarian, Commoner, Noble, Pirate, Priest, Rogue, Sailor, Scholar, Shaman, Soldier, Sorcerer, and Vagabond. each of these careers give you optional mechanics to add on to your character. If you decide to play a non-human character, like an elf, you can choose a different career. But for these character options for non-human groups, the character career options tend to be that group. So if you're an elf, your career can be elf, which is a little funny when you say it out loud. I would definitely recommend, when you are doing the character creation for this game, to start by taking notes and calculating scores on a scrap piece of paper, and once you're happy with it, move it to a final character sheet. I mean, you can just use a pencil and erase it, but I really like having the option to work things out on a bit of paper and scribble, and then when I'm happy with it, transfer it to a final character sheet. I want to briefly discuss the magic system in this game. This game features something for magic that I really love. There are magic mishaps. In this game, magic is generally rolled with the intelligence score. If you happen to roll snake eyes, so a 1 on each die, or you fail by a degree of 4 or more, you will then need to roll on a if you happen to roll snake eyes, like a 1 on each die, or if you happen to fail the roll by 4 or more, you will need to roll on a magical mishap table. There's some pretty dramatic consequences to the magic mishap table, so I think you sort of roll and hope your character survives. This game manual is extremely efficient with its information. This book is over 300 pages, and a lot of the information is conveyed through forms of shorthand or tables. I really enjoy that in my game manuals. I like being able to scan through a little bit of an overview of the mechanics and then read a bit more in depth about them. I think it's really helpful when you're playing the game. I think also being efficient with your information really helps this sandbox setting. The game rules aren't really bogged down with a lot of flavor text. I think this is one of those games that's really appealing to game masters. It's a bit of a toolkit feeling, and depending on what you want to focus on in the game, you can lean towards different genres. I think how a game master sells the game to their group is going to impact whether or not they jump in. There's just so many different elements you can explore in this game that I think it can work for a lot of different groups. I believe the easiest way for an international audience to get their hands on the Sword of Cepheus 2nd edition is through Drive-Thru RPG. You can get the physical copy bundled with a digital copy for just under $30 US. There's also a couple of supplements available for this game on the Drive-Thru RPG website, including a supplement for UFOs, which I think looks really cool. Do you think you're the target audience for sword, sorcery, sandals, and planets? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. While you're there, please feel free to like this video and perhaps even share it with a friend who might find it interesting. If you would like to keep up with the gaming table, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications. YouTube will then tell you when I've next uploaded. If you would like to see your game on the gaming table, you can reach out to me using the email address in the description box below. I want to thank everyone who's donated to the channel, as all those donations go straight back to the running costs of the channel. It's deeply appreciated. If you have made a game and you would like to see it on the gaming table, you can reach out to me using the email address in the description box below. I will let you know I do have a bit of a pile of games to review, but I'm always keen to hear what you've been working on. I want to thank everyone who's donated to the channel. All those donations go straight back into the running cost of the channel, so I really appreciate it. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can do so using the link in my description box to my Ko-Fi page. I want to thank Stellar Gamma Publishing again for reaching out to me to review a copy of the Sword of Cepheus 2nd edition. And I want to thank you all for watching and discussing today's game with me. I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the gaming table. Bye!